Okay, so Emily, hold on. All right. You said that... wait, okay. Hold on. So, okay. If that's what men were and are expected to do, so be traditional gentlemen who will court a lady, take her out on lots of dates, hold the door, get flowers, provide, etc. What are women expected to do?
Well, you create a home. Obviously, if you're dating long term and you live with somebody, so like. But
let me ask you a question though. Let me try to clarify. So, women. It seems to me that women demand men on the very early on in the relationship to adhere to these traditional gender roles. Mm-hmm. But women say, well, that's because months or years down the fucking road, maybe possibly I will have your kids and I will be the caretaker of the home. I'm asking up front, what are women expected to do? Because you can go on a first date with a guy and expect him to pay for the first date, and there's like how
You're
many
asking what women are expected to do? Usually it's have sex, like.
Traditionally speaking, no.
No. Modern day. So men.
But I'm asking from a traditional sense. What are women expected to do?
Well, traditionally speaking, there would not be a lot of time in between the dating and then finally getting married. It would be more like a quicker kind of.
How quick?
I'd say traditionally, lots of people, and this still even happens in the South. People get married like very early, around like 21, 22, like. Especially in the South, where it's more traditional, women and men will get married very early on, and then the woman is already performing her role in the house. So it's like more of a matter of how long are you going to date somebody before you actually.
You're making, but we do also live in modern times. So I guess my argument I'm trying to make is that women, even feminist women or modern women, still demand and expect men to adhere to their traditional gender roles when it comes to protecting, providing, paying for first dates, etc. So again, I'm asking, if these are all things that men are expected to do early on in the relationship, what are women expected to do?
Oh, I think that's particular to every man. Actually, there'd be not really, because I feel like every man would.
Well, I'd rather let the women answer this.
I feel like a lot of men would agree on what they would traditionally want her to give them, but I feel like some men, like he said, he wants a woman to be there and be his entire support system. So I feel like he could probably speak for a lot of men, but
okay, you've listed, like, I'm sure all the women here could list like a dozen things or a handful of things that you expect a guy to do fairly early on in a relationship. So I'm asking, what do you think men expect you to do or to bring early on in a relationship or the courtship process?
I would say good behavior, probably.
Well, that's expected of both men and women. Hold on, let's let the girls answer.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Do you have more?
This is a great question.
Do you have more?
No, actually, I want to hear what everybody else has to say.
Okay, here, we'll go with you, we'll go around, then we'll end with you. Go ahead.
Well, I think it would be good to establish who does think traditional courtship is cool. You said you were like 50-50.
No, she wants men to pay for the first date, so she's not 50-50.
First date, but are we also talking about courtship, like traditional courtship, or no?
Well, I'm assuming you want that.
Like
courtship is a very specific term.
Yeah, what is that? I don't know exactly what that means.
Dating. I think we're getting away from okay, for example, in your video, you say you want a guy to pay for the first date, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's what you're expecting the guy to do. What are women expected to do?
Yeah, I would say that the beginning stages of a relationship, both parties are signaling the value that they offer to each other. So a man, by paying for the first date, is signaling provider energy. So I think what the woman brings is signaling to a man that she can bring feminine energy. So that's by not being overly masculine. That's by being a nurturing presence. That's by being interested in what he has. It's getting to know his mission, his values, and seeing if they align with hers. And it's signaling to him, like, I will also allow you to be this masculine role in my life, and that's also what I'm looking for. So that's what I would do, and that's how I've found success. People can do whatever they want. That's what I would say I bring to the table.
The question again is like what I bring to. I feel like I completely agree. Like I feel like
it's not what you bring. It's like what should be expected of you if you're expecting the man to take that masculine role and pay for the dates and court you.
Well, here, let me really quick. Just yes or no. Who should pay for the first date?
I would like if the man paid for the first date.
The man who asked me, yeah.
The man. I like the man, but be fine with 50-50.
Sure.
The man.
The man.
The man, unless I don't like him.
I think whoever asks should pay
Well,
for first date.
who here has asked out a guy?
No.
And if you if you had to break up the percentage, more often than not, who's asking who? Go ahead.
Oh, well, are you asking me if I've asked?
Yeah, have you asked out a guy?
No.
Have you asked out a guy?
Yeah.
More often than not, though, who's asking who?
Definitely guys are asking girls.
What percentage for you? 90% the guy's asking. Maybe one time you asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, one time she asked a guy out. Okay.
I'd say it's like 80-20
Sure.
guy asking.
I will pitch the idea, but then he'll ask, so.
I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
I've never asked.
Never asked a guy out.
I have not.
Huh?
I haven't.
Emily?
No.
But so how can you sit there and in good faith say whoever asks should pay, yet you know by your own admission that it's just almost, I don't know if it's naive or just glossing over the fact that de facto we know that men have to take initiative and men are the askers.
Well, no. That's you're assuming that I've never ever paid for a date before. I feel like that's
No, what we're talking about, you said whoever asks
because I've never asked
should
somebody.
pay.
I've never asked them on a date. So yeah, I'm saying if
But
I asked a man on a date, I would pay for it because I'm asking them to go out and spend time with
But
me. Like,
whoever
it's my idea.
asks should pay is it ignores the fact that men are almost overwhelmingly being the initiators in the vast majority of heterosexual romantic relationships.
Yeah, I feel like if you want to take a woman out and you're asking to take her out, you should pay for it.
Right, but saying whoever asks should pay ignores the fact that there is a burden on men to be the askers, because we as men, we can't just sit back and wait for women to come to us and ask us out on dates because it happens so infrequently.
Yeah, I guess it's specific to the situation. Like if you're already dating someone, like I've already dated somebody and I was like, hey, you want to go get ice cream? And then I paid for it because I asked them to go do it. Like I suggested it. It wasn't their idea. It was something I wanted. So like that's where I've done that, but I've never went up to a man and say, hey, you want to go on a date with me? So I don't know that experience. I've never had to do that.
Whoever asks should pay, you may as well just say men should pay. Because we know that women don't really ask men out on dates.
Right, so I wouldn't date a man who's not going to ask me
speaking.
out. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to date a man that's not going to be confident to ask me out. Like I'm not going to.
Right, so there's never an opportunity.
Be something I'm going to have to do. Is my point.
Okay, fine.
What's wrong with men paying for the first date?
Yeah.
I have some thoughts on that. I got some thoughts.
What's wrong with it, Brian?
Well, I interrupted myself to ask the who should pay question, but we were going around on what is expected, what are women expected to do? So if we're talking about, I think all of you said you'd like a return to dating as it used to be seen in old movies, traditional gentlemen who will court a lady, take her out on lots of dates, hold the door, buy flowers, etc. So if that's the expectation for men, what are women expected to do? I think we left off at you maybe, or maybe it was you.
So this is like in the scheme of like the general scope of the relationship, not like just the first date. You mean?
I would say early on.
Early on.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're getting to know the person, right? So I think just showing,
both of you are doing that, though.
Yeah. I mean, but showing interest in him, like
both of you are doing that.
I mean, you support the conversation. Maybe I do bring him something depending on time of year, birthday, I don't know, occasion, whatever, like life, I don't know. Like I've given guys gifts, you know what I mean? Okay. It depends.
I'm not even necessarily talking something tangible like paying for a date or a gift or something, but what about you? Go ahead.
I think she brings loyalty. And
Men bring that too, but okay.
Do they though?
I mean,
I don't know. Not as much as women, I don't think.
They bring loyalty? Okay.
Women bring loyalty, I think.
On the first date? Are you loyal on the first date?
Oh, we're talking first date? Okay, well, what do women bring on a first date? They make you feel good, right? You get giddy, you get butterflies, they make you feel good.
I mean, that goes both ways, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So we're talking first date, what?
First few dates early on in the relationship.
Okay, I feel like... We're talking in a traditional sense, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Can you say it one more time?
Okay, please don't make me repeat myself one
Sorry.
more time. So she said she wishes dating was how it used to be seen in old movies.
Right.
Traditional gentlemen who will court a lady, take her out on lots of dates, hold the door, buy flowers, etc. A lot of you said, I agree with that. That's how it ought to be. That's how it should be. Maybe some of you have that expectation with the men that you're interested in dating. So if that's what men are expected to do, to pay for first dates, hold the door, be gentlemen, be protectors, be providers, I'm asking you very simply, what are women expected to do?
I would say
Or
be
bring?
modest.
Be what?
Be modest.
Okay, sure.
Definitely modest. Ladylike,
Sure.
feminine,
Okay.
gentle.
Good. Yep.
Just
Sure. What about you?
Letting him lead the conversation. I don't know. Me personally, I just want like a guy to know that like I'm gonna let him take the lead and just, vent to me, just
Sure.
that.
I guess just being feminine and looking good.
Being feminine and looking good, okay?
Yeah, looking good and be a good listener. And also, I think you can kind of like hype the guy up to make him feel like they can protect you.
Okay. Emily, did you have more to add? Or?
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of the things that they said where, gentleness, femininity, all of those traits which elevate a man's status. So what you're actually doing as a woman going on a date with a man, you are elevating his status. You're signaling to other men that he is capable of providing and attracting a high value woman like that. That is elevating his status to other men because it's a virtue signal that he can get this many women or this specific woman and keep her. So yeah, I think it's always been this way. A man back in the day seen with a very nice pretty girl on his arm was considered it was respectable, and it brought him respect, value, and it's like esteem issue.
If that's my girlfriend, perhaps, but frankly, if I'm meeting you at like a lounge for a drink or a coffee, I don't give a fuck what anybody in the coffee shop.
Wait, so you don't care what she looks like? That's what I'm talking about.
That's not what I'm saying.
But no,
but I don't
that is
care
the
about
point.
the other men in the bar and like, oh, look at me, I've got a hot girl. I hope these other guys notice me and think I'm super cool because I'm on a date with the hot
What
chick.
is it that you want?
I don't give
Brian?
a fuck.
What is it that you
like
want?
her-
So you're saying you would walk into
So-
a date with a woman dressed like, let's say, like someone off the street, right?
That's
she
not
doesn't
what
care
I'm-
about her. It is the point, though,
That's not what I'm
because you're
arguing.
signaling to other men that.
Hold on. Brian's talking about behaviors that he's looking for in women. Okay, so Brian, what is it? What behaviors would you
sure.
expect?
Well, the point I'm trying to make with this question is you listed all these things as how you want traditional treatment, but I went around the entire table and a lot of the women here had difficulty articulating what, given that the man would be doing all these traditional things, you had difficulty articulating what your end of the bargain is, what you're supposed to be bringing in a more traditional courtship, let's say. You don't even know what you got to do on your end of the bargain. And I see this all the time on the show, on dating apps. Women will talk endlessly about all the things they want in a guy, from looks to personality to money. Yet, what are you bringing to the table to deserve that sort of thing? And you need to ask yourself, the reason I bring this up, does the guy that you want you? You want that traditional treatment. What are you moving through the world in such a way that is deserving of being able to secure that type of guy? Because if you want a good man who looks a certain way, who's attractive, has a certain status, makes good money, it's not about what you want. It's about what does he want?
So what is it that you want, Brian?
Well, okay,
In a
if you
situation
want,
like that.
I'm saying like if a lot of women want the traditional treatment, they want courtship, they want guys to pay for first dates, low body count. The lower body count, the better. If you have a past of promiscuity, if you're, for example, I don't even want to go on a date with a girl that's entertaining another guy, who's dating another guy, who's sleeping with another guy. So a lot of people, and men do this too, but if you're moving in such a way where you're sleeping with other men, you have a guy that you're sleeping with, and then you expect traditional treatment, like,
It's not going to happen.
I think I was agreeing with you because I'm saying like if obviously if a woman looks like she is promiscuous and has a high body count, that's not going to elevate your status. That's what I'm saying. Being
Sure,
a
yeah.
high value woman is what you bring to the other side of the table.